In 1833, in Dublin, Mary Frances Clark, meeting with kindred spirits, discovered a real love for community and a real sense of mission. There was a call to the United States, to America, and they followed that call. The young women were convinced that what they needed to do was to respond to the most urgent needs of the day. Dubuque was primitive. It was a frontier town. And when they arrived, they nursed cholera victims. They opened schools. They mentored young women. They served as a liberating, a freeing, and a hope-filled force for impoverished immigrants. Mary Frances Clark often said, if we wrote down everything that happened to us along the way, no one would believe it.
Built into our very origin in Mary Frances Clark is the desire to respond to the needs of the times, no matter what they might be. What we believe is that wherever one member is, the whole BVM congregation is with that one member. We have 4 core values: freedom, charity, justice, and education. So these core values are based on the living of our BVM life. And so these 4 values have really emerged out of the heart of our experience. One of the greatest testimonies to the way we live the core values is that we experience it first and foremost as a reality in our own lives.
Our sisters, following in the footsteps of Mary Frances Clark, continue to respond to God's love by serving wherever the need is the greatest.
I've had the most growthful experience that a person can possibly have. I had figured out by my late 20s that I was a person who needed a spiritual community to live in. And that's another way in which I stepped into the work that I'm doing. And I do spirituality leadership workshops all around the world. I teach online courses, and it's all about helping people make their organizations more healthy so that people will want to work there. And for me, that's ultimately related to my place in religious life, because it's important for me to be living with people that I pray with, to share a meal together, to live simply together, to pool our money together. It's about getting some sense of meaning and purpose from the fact that you belong to this community and you're a part of it.
Since I've been retired, I've been doing parish visiting and health ministry.
Good afternoon, Jean.
And if we're not reaching out to others, then I really don't know if there is a valid reason for our life.
Bye, honey.
In my parish work, I always would bring communion to this woman. And one day I was just going past her place, and all of a sudden I thought, I think I'm going to stop in and say hi. And when I went in, she knew it wasn't the day I usually brought communion, and I said, I don't have the Lord with me today. I've just come to visit. And she looked at me and said, Sister, you are the Lord for me. And it really struck me that this is what our life is all about, bringing Christ to each other.
One, two, three, four, backwards, 2, 3, 4, go
I do
across.
elementary general music, and includes all kinds of activities, dancing, singing, playing instruments. The kind of things that I hope children take away from my part of their education are an I can attitude.
This is dum, bum, bum.
And there are the aha moments where they have really understood and loved the
Just go around
activity.
with your right hand up there. Change. Go to your
I
left.
think kids need to meet sisters because it gives them a bigger picture of church.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Sisters are not just a historical relic. We're here and now.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Forever they will be
5,
able to
6,
say,
7,
Sister
8,
Diane taught me.
2,
So
3,
it's been a wonderful experience.
Part of my ministry is here at Westside Employment Education Center in Chicago, which is a program for dropouts and for persons wishing to increase their basic skills.
I don't think you can get anywhere without some education. And a lot of these people haven't had the chance.
One woman, in fact, who was here today, she comes because she has 3 children who are in elementary school.
You know where that is.
And one of her main reasons for coming is so that she will be able to help them with their schoolwork. I also supervise and direct the food pantry. We serve people in the neighborhood in need of food.
We prepare what has to be packed, get volunteers to help. I feel happy. I mean, I like my work. And if I see that we're getting someplace or somebody's nice to somebody else, that's a reward to me.
I think it's responding to real needs of real people. As BVMs, we're called to do that.
Becoming an associate or a volunteer are other ways to walk with us in mission.
I think the most important thing for BVM associates today is the 4 core values of freedom, education, charity, and justice. For me to understand them and to own them in my life and to embrace them along with the BVM Sisters, that's at the heart of association. For me, the call to be freer in terms of my service to other human beings, justice and charity, and the value of education in our world, they were at the heart of what I believed in too. I feel very enriched in terms of the spirituality of the BVMs that I found to be very personally fulfilling. And with the fulfillment comes a challenge to continue to bring excellence to what I do as a father, as a husband, as a professor, to be the best that I can be, like so many BVM sisters have over the generations.
Social justice work that I've been involved with for the past several years of my life has really become deeply rooted in my spirituality and my faith. Since I had volunteered with 8th Day, I honestly never thought that I would have the opportunity to work there. And then when I found out that it was the BVMs who had an opening, and I really started to learn more about their charism, I just couldn't believe how perfect of a match it was. The mission of being freed by love and acting for justice is something that speaks to me and just resonates with me immediately. I'm very grateful to have this opportunity with the BVMs to work at 8th Day Center. This position is just the perfect combination of my own core identity as a Catholic person and a Catholic woman, and my desire and my passion about working for justice in this world. They've walked with the farm workers, they've been part of anti-war movements, they've walked with our immigrant sisters and brothers, and the fact that I'm able to walk along with them is an incredible opportunity.
Even though at different levels of retirement and care, every sister continues the BVM mission. Whether reaching out in their community, knitting hats for children in need, teaching others, or ministry of prayer, the spirit of Mary Frances Clark carries on in all of us.
Right now, we're teachers in classrooms. We're administrators in schools and colleges and universities. We serve in hospitals, do prison ministry, also advocates for social justice, and a variety of forms of volunteer service. The most important thing is we want to invite anyone who wants to partner with us in our spirit to walk with us and therefore walk with Mary Frances Clark in continuing what she began.
As we grow into the future, you are welcome to join us as a vowed member, an associate, a volunteer, or a donor.
This is what our life is all about, bringing Christ to each other.
It's about getting some sense of meaning and purpose from this community, and you're a part of it.
I think it's responding to real needs of real people.
And the fact that I'm able to walk along with them is an incredible opportunity.
We invite you to take this opportunity to walk with the BVM Sisters on this faith-filled journey.